Good morning. Today I'm going to show you a few failures we had this year and a few wins. We had our big wedding and our honeymoon. We went to Europe. It was wonderful, but we came home and the garden looked like this. Okay, so one of the hardest things about living in southern Idaho is that we have so much ground cover here. This was not here when we left. And now it is a plethora of ground cover, which is fine and beautiful, but when it grows into your gourd patch, not so wonderful. We do have a lot of butterflies, which we really appreciate, but something that we would have done differently is weed fabric. We didn't think we'd need it because we have clay soil and it's honestly hard to grow things here. But alas, it's not hard to grow weeds. So the main thing we would do first is weed fabric. So I'm not against weeding. We weed all the time. It's natural. It's something that you have to do with a garden. But there are certain things that we just cannot keep up on. And the worst part about half of these weeds is that if you weed whack them and you're not picking everything by hand, they're just gonna propagate. They go everywhere. They go crazy. Yeah, and that's okay. The second thing we're gonna look at here is our greenhouse. Now we made a really cool greenhouse. We did a hoop house. We did rebar with PVC piping and it's worked out really, really well. The only problem is that we didn't account for squash bugs. We had terrible squash bugs last year and we thought in the greenhouse we would escape them. Well, we didn't. And now it's too hot in here to let our chickens just roam and eat them. So that's something else we would definitely do differently next year. Now we did get some pumpkins. They're looking really cute. You can see some hiding down here. We got a big pumpkin here. Really exciting. We have some squash. But unfortunately, as we come over, they didn't have enough room to grow. And we're getting little stubbies, which are very cute. And then squash bug decimation. Basically ruined. We feel like terrible squash parents. They were just absolutely annihilated. That brings me to our next plant that we feel bad about. Our okra. We love, love, love okra, and this is a fantastic plant. It barely needs any attention. The only thing it does need is to be picked. You cannot let okra get this big. It is way too big. I should be cutting this. I'm so sorry, okra plant. But I just want to show you guys because it's already not happening. This is huge for okra. And as you can see, I can't even, with all my might, really crunch this in half. So it's not tender and delicious, but it looks nice inside. Not terribly edible. So, not even by our chickens. We left one in the chicken coop the other day. It's probably, I don't know if your cats just stare at your chickens all day. I'm hoping they're friends. We don't know, but she has a good time just laying by the chickens, just hanging out. Yep, there it is. Old okra. You guys do not like this. My hope with this bad boy is that we can just plant the seeds. Okra doesn't have a lot of fleshy bits that stick to it, so these little seeds are pretty clean and ready to go, and maybe a lot of our garden this year will just turn into our next year's garden. That's okay too. Okay, the next thing is we planted beautiful raised beds this year, and really they are doing super well. I've got calendula and nasturtium and all kinds of helper plants. Also a lot of plants that attract wasps, which is fine, but unfortunately I think they're crowding out our honeybees, which was sort of the point of some of our flowers this year. So not sure if there's much we can do about that, but we think we didn't give enough room to this brassica. So we have our brassicas this year partner planted with peppers, and it should be all right, but they're not doing so hot. They're not getting as big as last year, which was great. Last year they got humongous and just had the tiniest heads to eat. This year I'm hoping that they're just gonna break on through and be really happy. We did have an excess of water this year, which was very surprising. We set up our drip irrigation. As you can see, we have little drip lines running from each bed, because last year our epic fail was that we did not have enough water. This year, maybe too much water. It has rained so heavily, but that being said, corn loves rain. And our corn is so happy. So that is a big win for us. Look at this guy. Huge corn win. Obviously, our biggest win was finding this cat. This cat is fantastic. This is our little girl. She's so helpful in the garden. She digs things up for us that we would have otherwise eaten. So nice of her. Okay, let's talk about garlic and onions. Onions, beautiful. We have a great onion harvest. We've been using them through the season. It's been fantastic. Excuse my shadow. Hello. But garlic was here. And truth be told, we have no idea what went wrong. If you have tips on garlic, you let us know. This has become a weed bed. As you can see with all the videos I've been taking of it, my favorite addition this year was this trellis that Jessie made along with our greenhouse, which construction-wise, wonderful. It's been super helpful for so many things. Our basil went wild. It was so good. Our kale was killer. We had amazing greens, mustard greens, lettuce. Same within that other bed over there. We had so much lettuce. We've had a salad every day. It's been beautiful. But this is just so magical. It's like a little fairy garden. And these birdhouse gourds are seriously amazing. My mom brought me one home from Chile one time for mate, like ceremonial mate with the metal straw and everything. And I just loved it. I didn't take care of it properly. I didn't know how. So it kind of has, I don't know. It's been retired. It still sits on a shelf and is very aesthetic, but drinking out of it is maybe not going to happen. But Jessie, turns out, also loves birdhouse gourds and likes to make things out of them, like bowls and I don't even know, other kinds of things that he said he's going to make stuff out of. So I'm so excited to see what he's going to do with these bad boys. We have such cute ones growing up here, some littles. And then down here, we just have these honkin' birdhouse gourds. I mean, they are humongous. And the best part of this is that we're getting more into our trellis gardening, which is so wonderful because this spread out would be so many feet. And then come harvest, I can just come up here and just pluck one of these guys off, and we're just gonna be so simple, and there's not a ton of cleanup, and we don't have to worry about the weeds. So garden next year, we are going to trellis everything we can. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is fruit trees. We use so much of our fruit for our jams, and we sell them. That is our main source of income at the farmers market. We have really delicious jams. We do not spray our trees. We do all organic practices. We water them and let nature do its work. The only thing this year is that nature did its work really, really well last year. We had absolute bumper crops. They were so beautiful. We had so many cherries. I think over the entire homestead, we had nearly 1,000 pounds of fruit. And that was just a canning nightmare, but so wonderful and very profitable for our small business. This year, however, we are experiencing more rain and we are watering the same amount. But I think these trees were just so maxed out last year, which happens, and they are just not interested in fruiting for us very well. And on top of that, the birds are relentless. I think they remember us from last year, and they know that we had the best cherries. So they've come, they've seen, they've conquered, and we had maybe 3 flats of cherry jam this year, but that's okay. Fail and win, we got to feed some birds and we still got some. Another win is our grapes and this other little trellis Jessie made for us. So cute. These guys are just loving life. Look at these happy grapes. They're starting to purple up. They are purple grapes. They're tasty green though, which is so nice. I still come out and snack on them. Even though they're not ripe, they're just a little tart. They're totally fine to eat. Very happy. And our peaches, they're coming back. Honestly, I was a little bit concerned for them, but I think that they are doing their thing. I did post a video recently asking people, we have just a couple of these little guys that have, if you can see here, like little peach pimples. And I really want to know where these little peach pimples come from and how to protect them, if it's some sort of mite or bacteria, but they're not on all of them. Most of them are very happy and salvageable. So those are going to be a lovely crop for us. Probably eat most of them, can some of them, though people love peach jam. So it's a hard balance always for us, making food for others and for sale, and then being able to eat it ourselves as well. Our biggest goal is self-sufficiency. So we do have to put ourselves first, and that is a tough balance when we have so many customers and so many wonderful people that want our food and want to experience foods without pesticides, and we want to provide those. But we do need to be self-sufficient because that is our entire motto. That's why we do this, is we want to teach other people to be self-sufficient as well. So mainly this year, we are just helping teach people how to manage their fruit trees. We do have a program right now where we will come to your house and we will take care of your fruit trees for you, as long as we can split some of the fruit for our jams that has fallen or is ready to fall. We'll come pick it up, take care of it, and process it into our compost, and then anything that is really nice off the tree, salvageable, that you don't want, we will turn into jam, and we come prune for free and just take care of that. As long as you sign that you will not spray your trees, we keep everything just as nature does it. And last but not least, this little guy. As you all know, we have a coffee cart and we love our coffee cart, but this year we have decided to have a coffee trailer so we can set up in more places and be less scattered. I think scattered is the word. It is, oh hi buddy. It is really hard to set up at the market with everything we have by hand every day as a pop-up. And so having everything live in our cart and get stored on our property is just going to be so helpful for us. And also it's just cute as a button. So that's just a few of our wins and losses and fails and excitements for this season. We are here in the end of August, so come September, October, we will have more food to process and harvest, and it'll be very lovely. But this end of August is always so interesting. There's so many changes going on, and I just love to document it. So hit me with any questions, and please tell me what the peach pimples are for. As always, we appreciate your support. Like, follow, subscribe for more content, and just to help out a local business that is dedicated to healthy, happy, sustainable food.